What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the CangToys Landbull, their version of a masterpiece stylized Tantrum. So this is number 2 in the line of Predacons from CangToys. I actually looked at these in reverse, so I started with the number 6 and 7 or whatever the numbers were, and I've worked my way back down. Now this one was the one that took a little bit longer to get here. This was sent to me by Ting Lee. He bought this from Bombasby, and I said I would mention that store. Thanks for sending this to me for review, and we're finally close to the end here. I can actually do the combined mode, but first we got to get through this guy here. And he really does look nice. We'll put the G1 image there while I do this, but lots of nice paint and tampo details, just like all the rest. All the little silver accents, black accents, lots of paint, orange deco, maroon. Here's the back. It cleans up pretty nicely. This is one of the better ones in terms of the design. I think they've really nailed this just cohesive look. It really looks good. Lots of nice detail on the chest too, you can see. The head is a little bit weird. You've got kind of a yelling face. He's got a permanently open mouth. Not a huge fan of that, but it's okay. It's painted orange, and then the eyes are translucent, just like all the rest have been. It's got light piping on the back, which I don't think that's appropriate for these caliber of figures. They should just paint the eyes, but not a big deal. Overall, nice looking head sculpt. Let's go over his articulation. And there are some things you need to do out of box just to get him configured. Mainly, I think the kneecaps are down like this. You do want to get them up like that. And then there's a little bit of misconfiguration here on the back of the feet. And I think you got to install these horns, and then I think you're ready to go. But for articulation, the head can go down to there, up to there. It's on a ball joint, side to side, and it rotates all the way around. Really nice movement. All of these have had really good head articulation. Shoulder pad can move out of the way. It's on a armature and a ball joint, so it can basically rotate any direction. Arms go up on a ratchet, pretty much all the way. You can get this out of the way. This has a little piece on the side, by the way, so you can fold that down or have it straight out. Shoulder can rotate all the way around, although this piece does rotate with it. You can actually keep it still if you wanted to, so you can keep the shoulder pad up. So they move independently of each other. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow, although it does start to come apart here as you bend it. But you can get a double jointed elbow out of that. For the wrists, you have here, let me get this back. Rotation at the wrist. You have individually articulated fingers, and all of these hands have been exactly the same, and they're done very well on a pin and a ball joint, and then the thumb is on a pin, and it also has a swivel to the inside. And they've all been well done, nicely toleranced and everything like that. Getting down to the waist area, you have hip skirts here. Actually, you do have a waist rotation. This one has an ab crunch. So I think 2 of them had the ab crunch, but doesn't have that ab crunch there. Not all of them had that articulation. Legs go up to there on a ratchet, back to there on a ratchet, up to the side on a ratchet. It is nicely done. It's not, the detents aren't too far. So that's the first one. That's the second one out. That's not too bad. It always bothers me when they do the detents and then they're like really far apart, like the Masterpiece Skyfire had that. Rotation at the thigh around a universal. You have it's actually a double jointed knee, so it gets you past 90, but there's a joint here and joint here. Nice die cast metal piece there, and looks really good in there. You have a ankle tilt, both directions, toe tilt down. The entire foot can go down and forward. For the accessories, you get basically the same stuff we've been getting before. You get this blaster, has some silver paint on it, some tampo decos, and then some nice sculpted detail. It does look good. These can go on the hands. They just have a little tab and slot system, just like most MPs these days. That looks good. You also get this sword here, which again, you can use it like this if you want, or you can use it like a sword. And again, same thing, it's got the little tab. We can get this into here. And this one's a little bit trickier because there is his paw from the animal mode is sticking out. So that does like to interfere with the handle for the sword. So you just got to move this down a little bit. And for size comparisons, there it is next to the Transform Element Optimus Prime and the Takara Tomy Shockwave. And he's a big boy. He looks good. And I mean, all of them have been this size, so they scale well together. But they do fit nicely in a Masterpiece scale. All right, now it's time to get Landbull transformed into his bull mode. And relatively fun, and there's a couple of steps you got to watch out for, but overall, pretty cool transformation. So go ahead, and we're going to take these chest plates here. We're going to pull them forward, and they're going to accordion down. There's a little tab. They're going to sit right in there. Same on this side, of course. And that just gives us a little bit more room to work. Fold this up, take the arm out to the side. You can unpeg these panels, and these are going to come all the way back. You can lift up the head and lift off this. Same on this side, fold this up, fold the arm up, fold this back. We can unpeg this, and this is all just going to sit down here for now and just leave that there. So come back to the arms. We're going to take these, and these are going to rotate around on the shoulder ratchet. And then we're going to take the arms, bring them down. So actually we want to lift this up, bring this to the back, and you can see there's a little slot right there, and there's a tab on the top of this. So I'm going to get this down, tab that in to the back of the arm, and you just got to look where you're putting it, and that should lock that piece in. Now we'll take care of the rest of this. So lift up on this. This is going to accordion down. It's going to tab under here and then into here. So there's a tab here, and this is going to go under. So first tab that bottom one in. This is going to come up and tab into there, like that. We can open up this foot, and this is going to rotate around. Make sure the hand is configured so it'll rotate into here and kind of hide away. Want to get the thumb a little bit flatter. Allow you to take this panel here, close that up. That's going to cover up the arm. Bring the foot down, rotate around, and that's one leg done. So it should end up something like this. So go ahead and do the other side. We'll do that off camera. I'll be right back. All right, now that we got both arms done, we can work on the chest and the upper body. This part's a little bit tricky, but go ahead and open up these, and they'll give you access to the chest. We're going to unpeg the head. It's just a little tab right there. Fold that back. That'll allow you to fold this chest section forward. Come to the back here, and we want to take all of this, and this is going to accordion down and back. So take this entire panel. You can see it's on a double hinge. That's going to accordion back. Actually get this out of the way, the tail. You can just fold it all the way down out of your way. And we're going to also take this piece here. It's going to accordion back. It's really kind of crazy how it works, but get that up. Get that tabbed in. And then you take the head. The head's going to fold down and into there. So he's basically just playing peekaboo like that. This is going to come down. We're going to take care of this a little bit later, but you can just leave the bull head on the front like that. Right, these are going to come down. So these arms, just so you can see, they were tabbed in right here. Now they're moving back to here. They're going to end up back here, tabbing into the side. This one. And now we can take all this. And remember, this head is supposed to sit in here like that. The head's supposed to come down like that. All right, take these panels, and there's two little tabs. They're going to tab in right here on the top. So this can just come down and peg into there. This is going to come around, and I guess we'll take care of this now because it gets complicated later. So go ahead and take this panel here. Rotate this around, and it's a little tricky, but you got to get it like that. I made it look easy, but it's actually kind of irritating to do. This is going to come down. Make sure it comes straight up with this, so it lines up like that. And next we're going to take this, and this whole thing's going to come forward. There's 2 slots right here. You're going to tab that in right there. And this is going to come down and around the neck. And what you want to end up doing, and I think I folded away this panel prematurely. So go ahead and take this panel back out if it folded in, because we need that. This is going to come up, and basically this is going to sit right here and tab in underneath. So get these down and in. There we go. So it should look like that, nice and square and all pegged in, and then you can bring the head down. Just let it sit like that. But that's basically the front. Pretty much done. I'm going to close that ab crunch there, right here. All right, now let's work on this. You can just fold the tail out of the way. Open up the legs. And this part is maybe the more confusing part because there's so many steps. Take this silver part right here, fold that up and out of the way. This is going to fold up and expose this side. You're going to unpeg this from here. So just pull out right there. It's just tabbed in right there. I'm going to open this up and take this panel and flip that around. And then this entire thing is going to come down. And just make sure you work your way around so it's not colliding. I'm going to go all the way around. And there's a little groove on the inside that's going to allow it to sit inside this little notch. So it should sit like that, nice and flat. Take this out, fold this out. This is going to come around. If you look at the other side, this is going to go underneath, and that's going to tab in there. So bring it around and tab it in like that. And I believe this is going to come down, but we'll take care of this a little bit later. All right, now we'll take care of this foot here. So this is going to obviously become the leg, but there's a lot of little sequences on this. So open this up. I'm going to take this leg right here, fold this up, rotate the toe around. This is going to come down and sit right in here. When I first got this panel right here was all the way down in this hole, and it's impossible to take it out. Do not put that in the hole, because otherwise you'll never get it out. And yes, I know that's what she said. All right, so then that's kind of your leg. So leave it out to the side like this. And what we're going to do is take this entire leg, rotate it around. Make sure you have enough clearance to get it all the way around. And should end up coming together. All right, let's see. This we'll move a little bit later, but this is going to end up, instead of down like this, it's going to be up like that. All right, so that's basically one side done. Actually, we can do this right here too. So bring this leg back in, get it around this little notch, and get that tapped in. Right, so that's one done. Let's do the other one. I'm going to do this one off camera, but I'm not going to put it all together. I'll leave it apart so you can see what the next step is. But you can kind of see before I even do it, this tail is going to fit right in there in that groove. So make sure you get that in there before you get the next leg over so that you're ready. So we'll get this off camera. I'll be right back. All right, now that we got both legs configured, you can get these together and make sure the tail is sandwiched in between. And you can just put that down for now. But that's what it should look like from the back. Straighten up these legs. Come to the side. These panels kind of did themselves, but they're going to tab in here and here. Just make sure they get pressed in. And make sure that these two pieces of the inside got pushed in. All right, so now we'll come to the front. By the way, those just kind of happen naturally. But this is going to come down and end up tabbing into the side here. So it's got a hook underneath this as well. So get that hooked underneath. this orange piece, and then get it tabbed in right here. Right, so again, get it hooked underneath the orange piece and tabbed into the side. Last finishing touch, you're going to take these orange silver pieces. These are going to come down. They're just going to sit right here. It's not really the best, you know, position or anything. It just kind of sits there. And there is Landbull in his bull mode, and it looks really cool. I really like how they did the head sculpt and the overall, you know, top of the bull. It just looks really good. They did a good job on it. Lots of nice tampo and paint details, just like all the rest we've gotten. Here's the back. It does have a tail. It cleans up pretty nicely. I mean, there's not a lot of kibble. Down here you have a little bit, but overall, very, very clean looking bull mode. Doesn't quite look like Tantrum, but we'll put the image there just so you can look for yourself. Although, out of all of the ones, this one is actually relatively close compared to some of the ones that are really far off. But let's take a look at the articulation. The head is on a hinge and a ball peg, so it gets up to there, down to there. On the ball peg, you can rotate pretty much all the way around, so you can get some crazy angles. You can't open the mouth pretty much all the way like that. There's nothing in there to see, but it does open up. The nose ring here will actually flip up and down. So there's articulation there. The horns will rotate down and up, so you can kind of have them whatever position you want. Front legs will rotate around on a ratchet, which is the same ratchet we had for the arm. You have a bend here at the knee, bend here at the ankle, although it does break the sculpt a little bit if you bend that too far. The toes can go back and forth, and it's on a ball joint, so you can get side to side and a rotation out of that. Rear legs go back and forward, so if you want to get it pretty forward, you can. Back to there. It's a little squeaky. Bends here at the knee. The toe also on a ball joint, so back, forward, side to side, and rotation. For your tail, it goes up and down here. So you can bend all the way forward like that, all the way down like this. There is a rotation joint here in the middle. And there's 1, 2, 3 points of articulation for the bend. And for some size comparisons, there it is next to MP10 Optimus Prime and the CangToys Scoria. And he's a big bot. I mean, he's bigger than Scoria, definitely bigger than MP10. So all of these are scaled pretty big. I kind of like them, but just so you know, that's how it'll fit with a Masterpiece collection. So final recommendations on the CangToys Landbull. I'm going to give this a 4 to 5. I'm going to recommend it. I think this is one of the better ones we've gotten so far. It's really fun to transform and mess with. It's got some nice articulation. It just looks good overall. It's not too far away from the source material, but it's still got some stylization, nice paint, nice details. I do like the bull mode. I like the robot mode. And overall, it feels pretty good. I think if I was going to critique anything, I'd say the ankles are a little bit wonky, just the way they work. He can get into, you know, some unbalanced positions just because it's hard to get them flat the way they perform. But mine are complete. I really like this guy. Out of all of them, I think he's probably the second favorite of all the ones we looked at. So there you go. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. The next video we're going to be doing is going to be the combined mode for these guys. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you then.